So January is done and we're cracking on with the second half of the season in Season 2 of Back to Prem with Middlesbrough. Let's see how we're getting on, and it's sort of turned around-ish. So January, we started with a 4-1 win in the Cup, which was really good. Bola Lanzini, Wesley... I know how to say that name. Why am I struggling? Wesley scored an own goal and Ryan Brewster got one in the 93rd as well. They got a man sent off really early, which made it a lot easier. We followed that up with a 2-1 loss away to Tottenham. Unlucky, we played so well but couldn't get the win. Wolves, they've got our number. They've massively got our number. I think in the 2 games we played them, we've lost 4-1 and 3-1. So they definitely know how to get around the formation that I play. Millwall, we won 3-2 in the Cup. It was a lot more comfortable than the scoreline suggests. West Ham, we won 1-0 with the 91st minute from Borja Mayoral. I shouldn't have recorded the video today, I can't talk. Mayoral. And Leeds United 3-2. Goals, 2 goals to Tyler Roberts for them, and a Sam Byram 91st minute banger from the edge of the box gave us the win in front of a sold out Riverside Stadium. And we're getting into the back end of the season, which is very, very nice. But obviously that was January. The window has shut and we've made some signings. So let's go and have a little look at who we've brought in. So first up, Abel Ruiz on loan from Barcelona. We said we needed more goals, and I'm hoping this is a guy that can help us get them. Good finishing, good composure, good passing, good penalties, good technique, good off the ball. He's got everything you need to sort of be a very, very good striker. So he's come in, 4 appearances already, 1 goal, 2 assists and a 7.15. So he's already strutting his stuff. The guy on loan from Barcelona. Following on from the influx of Spaniards to Middlesbrough, they had that like previously where they had Juninho. We've changed that around and bought in Spanish players. We have also bought in Brahim Diaz, who was once of Man City, I think. Yes, we've brought him in on loan, 1 appearance so far because he arrived with a virus, but he can play central midfield, attacking midfield, or up front as well. So he's got a lot of good attributes around him. It looks very, very decent. I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do for us. Obviously, if he's here, he'll be attacking midfield support. It's just a bit more competition for places with Lanzini and Rokic, is that his name? The central midfielder? I can't remember. One more signing joined, and that was Jesus Vallejo, who people will probably know more from Wolves than his time at Madrid. Had a loan move at them, did pretty well, so I thought we'd bring him in and get him some game time as well. 775k. I was very happy with that as a deal, according to he's worth 8.5 now. He's playing generally as the libero, but can play in the central midfield role and defend as well. A good all-round signing, I think, for us, looking pretty decent. And very happy with that. But obviously, for that to happen, we had to let some people go as well. So Paddy McNair moved for 8.25 million to FC Copenhagen, which was ludicrous. They paid that money for him. Absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, he's gone. We don't need him anymore. And to be honest, that was about it. Some youngsters went. Daniel Dodds, Sam Follerin, and Marcus Taverner has gone out on loan to West Brom just to lower the wage bill a bit. But it's been pretty good, to be honest, and I'm looking forward to cracking on to the second half of the season. So we'll be back when we could go all the way through to March. No, we'll come back after that Chelsea game and have a little quick review. Will we? No, let's come back after that when we'll come back after the Burnley game and play a huge chunk and have a nice big review of those results. Well, thank the Lord that month is over. 3 draws, 2 losses, a dreadful month in terms of our safety survival chances. 3-3 against Villa. Just really annoying. Every time we scored, they got one back very quickly, other than the first goal, which we scored as an OG. But 2-0 loss to Man United, not much you can do about that. 4-1 loss to Arsenal, that was a dreadful game back-to-back. Brentford 0-0, Chelsea 1-1. The Chelsea result was actually pretty good. We didn't play too badly. But next up, we got Norwich twice. Then Bournemouth and Burnley. I think what we're going to do is basically play all of these games, and we'll come back after the Man City game and then come back for the end of the season and the end of season review. So I think that's what we're going to do. In terms of squad and stats and everything like that, Darren Randolph still hasn't missed a game, even though he had a slight knock for the game against Man United. We still played him because our backup goalkeeper isn't very good. In terms of goals, Ryan Brewster's up there with 9, Coric with 6, Mayoral with 5, Bolo with 4, Ruiz with 3, which is pretty decent since January. Fletcher with 3. Yeah, it's still scoring goals is still our problem at the moment. And more annoyingly, average rating is Coric, Ruiz, Randolph. Wing has dropped off a cliff recently in terms of form. He played okay in the last game, but I mean, actually he's not done. So we put him on the bench for the Arsenal game, but yeah, 6.9 against the easy teams. I mean, 6.3 against Villa, that's really disappointing. A 6.3 against Chelsea when we need him to create our chances was pretty disappointing. I've still got faith that he'll come back and do well, but he may have a bit of time out of the team in going into the next month. But it's been going okay. The club vision, they're very disappointed at the fact we're not playing defensive football. They're very disappointed at the fact that we're not making the most of set pieces, which I think is ludicrous. And they're satisfied or delighted by everything else. We've got a new contract, which is fine. They're concerned about the finances for Jesus Vallejo, which I don't quite understand. We got him for 775k, and we're only paying him 29 grand a week, so I think that's okay. And they're concerned about Ryan Shotton's recent performances, which probably makes sense. He's 32 and probably shouldn't be near the first team. We're struggling with the wage budget because I brought in loads of people on loan, and now we're, what's that, £50,000, £80,000 over our wage budget. But we've passed everything else, so yeah, we're doing okay. But we're getting towards the end of season 2 of this save, so it's going pretty damn quickly, isn't it? It's still coming out every Monday, Wednesday, Friday as well, alongside the folks in the Victor save at the moment, while I've got time. But yeah, still make £23 million we've made this season. As long as we can stay in the Premier League, we'll be fine. What I don't want to happen is stay in the Premier. Would I rather stay in the Premier League this season and get relegated next season, which technically means at the end of the 3-year stint we have in charge of Middlesbrough, we are relegated from the Premier League, or whether I'd relegated this season and get promoted, which means at the end of our 3-year stint we end up in the Premier League? I don't know. We'll be back at the end of April to see how these fixtures have gone. And we're back at the beginning of April, and we're coming back a little bit early because we've had a fantastic month this month. We couldn't be more different from February. March has seen 4 wins and a draw, and the draw was in the FA Cup quarter-final, in which we won the replay in front of a sold-out crowd. It's going really well. Norwich, we beat them 2-1 in the Premier League, and then beat them 2-1 again in what was pretty much an identical game in the FA Cup 5th round. We then played Bournemouth and beat them 2-1 to get our third 2-1 win in a row. Tottenham, we went to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium and nearly came away with a win. We actually sort of threw it away because we went 2-0 up. Harry Kane then scored, and Ben Davies popped up at the back post with a header in the 92nd minute. But they were rubbish at ours. They had a few people away out with injuries, and they had a couple of people at international games as well, which was very strange. But yeah, a 5th minute goal from Abel Ruiz and the 91st minute goal from Daniel Ayala, who's had a bit of a resurgence in March, which is great. Leads us into April, where we're hoping to get results against Sheffield United, Burnley and Liverpool in the FA Cup semi-final. I think it'll be good. We have really solidified our position in the Premier League now. 12 points ahead of Sheffield United in 18th with a game in hand as well. So it is looking like we're just edging towards safety, which is good. If we just make sure that we've got everybody here available to see. I was just looking at contracts about who expires and who's on big money and stuff like that, and who we want to keep. But if we go into my custom view, so goals wise, 9 for Ryan Brewster now, Coric on 6, Mayoral on 6, 5 for Fletcher, Ruiz on 4 and Bolla on 4 as well. Assist wise, Coric is up there on 8, Bolla on 7 and Chick still on 5 as well. So you can see we're still lacking in goals. Brewster looks like he's going to hit double figures before the end of the season, but if it's not really enough. If we compare with what we're doing previously, that's what we need to look at. But this boy has been sensational for us in the last few games. That 6.6 he came off at half time, so we'll ignore that. But yeah, I mean, look at this. Norwich, the first game against Norwich, key passes 2, key passes 2, key passes 2, key passes 2. He is creating chances and doing really well. 7.2, 6.9, 7.0, 7.7. 2 assists with those key passes for against Tottenham as well. Really, really happy with that. We've mixed it up a little bit in terms of the tactics. We've now got Diaz playing as an advanced playmaker next to Longstaff. We're giving Wing a bit of a rest. He comes on occasionally off the bench, but... Oh, no, wrong one. But as you can see here, on 67, on 79, started against Bournemouth. So, yeah, I just thought he was getting a bit of a burnout. So we'll give him a bit of a rest and play Diaz in there. And it seems to be working pretty damn well, which is great. And Coric, Fletcher and Ruiz linking this triangle of love up here, which is a very disturbing way to describe something in football, but a triangle of love is working very, very well, and it's good to see. It's very good to see. So we'll be back after the Man City Premier League game, and then we'll be moving on, well, to the end of the season, and we'll see this season out. See you then. So it's the end of April, and I'm delighted to say we're into an FA Cup final against Arsenal, which is mental. We beat Liverpool 2-0 in the semi-final. 2 really late goals got us the win. Assombalonga coming on for a very rare game. Got a goal and Lanzini as well, so that was really, really good. We started off well. Sheffield United 4-2 win, braces for Bola and Ruiz. The loanies have made such a difference to us. Liverpool beat us 2-0 with Sean Longstaff getting sent off, so we didn't give ourselves much chance there. Burnley 2-2 away from home. We're a bit lucky. They just sort of bombarded the box with crosses, and Chris Wood got the goal and Goodmanson got on the end of a rebound and made it they actually made it 2-1 to them, and then we got an equaliser with Bola, who's been absolutely superb this season. He really, really has. And then we beat Liverpool in that semi-final. We've just lost to Man City 3-1, which is a massive improvement on the last time we played them, where we lost 4-0. So, yeah, it was good. It was good. There's a few things in the squad that are happening that are a little bit sort of thing. A lot of our centre-backs, these are the centre-back partners we've got to play in this 3, because as soon as you put in Saez in here, they have a negative partnership with Bailly. You put in Vallejo, he has a negative partnership with Bailly. You put in Ayala over here, I thought he had a negative partner with Bailly. Okay, maybe that makes it a little bit easier, because we might be able to play Fry back in here, and then... Oh no, yeah, that's it. Fry's got a negative partnership with Ayala. And Wood doesn't have a negative partnership with anyone, but Fry's actually playing really well, so we're going to stick with that 3 back there. So we do have, whilst we've got the love triangle up here, we do have a bit of a negativity line. I was going to say sphere, but that's not what it is. A negativity line. Similarly to in the midfield, if we bring Wing in, it's not as bad. They have a decent partnership now. Okay, that's improved. It was bad, so that has got better, which is good. But at the moment, Diaz is loving life in that advanced playmaker role. And yeah, it's going all right. To be honest, it is going well. We are safe as well. We are not getting relegated. Aston Villa lost 3-0 to Arsenal and secured safety because West Ham lost 4-0 to Man United, which means we are safe. 12 points clear, 3 games to go. It's good. We're just looking to see if we can rein in. Possibly Norwich in 11th is doable. We've got an okay run in as well. Where's the schedule that we're going to go through? Watford, Everton, Brighton, and then of course the FA Cup final. And we'll be back for the final part of episode 2, season 2. We're back to the Prem with Middlesbrough to go through all the end of season stats and see how we get on in that FA Cup final. We'll see you then. So here we are then at the end of the season, and I'm disappointed to say we didn't win the FA Cup. It was a loss to Arsenal, 2-1 in the final. We gave ourselves a glimmer of hope, but it just wasn't enough. But it was sold out. We took 40. Well, they bought just over half. They bought 5 people extra. Why did they get 5 people extra? Why didn't we? Yeah, it just didn't really work. But it's a shame. We ended the season, well, pretty poorly, to be honest. 0-0 with Watford. A 2-0 win against Everton, which was lovely. Ruiz and Coric getting the goals. 4-1 lost to Brighton. Terrible. And then, they're losing the FA Cup final. But all in all, a good season. We've survived in the Premier League and we have 1 season left to go. Now, first off, we've renewed the loans of Diaz, Brewster and Ruiz. So they will all be here next season, which is good to see us through to our final season as Middlesbrough manager. If we look at stats, then Darren Randolph Didn't miss a game all season. Absolutely brilliant. He got 1 assist as well. 47 appearances with 1 assist. Very nice indeed. Corrich was then the second highest, so good to see the new signing was getting a lot. And Bay and Longstaff all up there as well. Really good to see. Yeah, we had loads of consistent performers. I mean, Mayers, if we can get a goal... Well, we may have to get a goalkeeper in because Randolph's contract expiring and he's been a bit of a pain in the arse to negotiate a new one. So we may get a new goalkeeper in, who knows. In terms of goals, not a lot, to be honest, is the answer. No one hit double figures this season. However, we did spread the goals out quite a lot. 9 for Brewster, 8 for Ruiz, 8 for Bolla, 8 for Corrich, 6 for Mariol, 5 for Fletcher, 3 for Diextel, 3 for Diaz, and 3 for Lanzini as well. Britta Sombalonga will be leaving at the end of his contract. We have been given our financial stuff as well. We'll get into that in a minute. Best player of the year, Abel Ruiz on average rating 7.16, which is really impressive according that he's only coming in January. Corrich on a 7.09 and Randolph on a 7 as well, which is really, really good. But we do have the end of season stuff to get into. So the overall 11, a few people make it in here. Lanzini gets in, Corrich gets in. We didn't get anyone in there. Brewster gets up top as well, so not too bad. End of season awards. Antti Corrich is player of the season, which is good. Randolph backs him up, followed by Lewis Wing. Mark Bolla got the goal of the season. We'll give it... I don't normally show the goal of the season, but we'll give it a little look, and you can see it for yourselves. I think I'll have to change it. Oh, no, it is in 3D. Longstaff out to Bolla on the left wing, and he beats his man. I think he just gets to the edge of the box and absolutely whelps it like that into the top corner, and that was our goal of the season for Middlesbrough. Signing of the season, Corrich, 6.5 million from Roma, and he gets young player of the season as well, so nearly a full sweep if he had got the goal of the season. The review then, we lost in the final, which was really impressive. The third round we got knocked out to Man United. Best game of the season, a 3-2 win against Leeds in January. Moment to forget was the 4-0 loss to Man City towards the tail end, or the beginning of the season, I should say. We had a 90% full stadium, and for once, I'm normally always top of this. In every save I have, I'm normally always top. But this time I wasn't. Only the 14th highest in Premier League this season for the amount of players used. 25, pretty much the whole squad, to be honest. So the club vision... they still want us to do this. Now, make the most of set pieces was very strangely a massive tick come the end of the day, which I don't quite understand because I think we scored 4 goals from set pieces all season when I looked at the stats. So we're going to negotiate this because I don't want to be judged on that or that. Everything else, I'm pretty happy to be judged on. Finances, that's fine. Sign players to sell up for a profit, fine. 3 years, yeah, that's fine. We're getting into our last season, so that's not a problem. So we'll suggest that. The main issue is when it's base game around strong set pieces. Well, I really, really don't want to be based around strong set pieces. Can you add stuff in to say things will be better? Add competition objective. 2002, 2008 league. Become... record a Premier League top half finish. I reckon we can do that. If you let me... Oh, God. We don't... I don't want to be judged on bloody set pieces. Fine. Whatever. We will do set pieces. Whatever. Stupid game. Squad dynamics. Everything's looking up. Everything's looking good. The end of season team meeting. So, passionately... We're good enough to not be involved in relegation, and that will be our likely target. Oh, it's only Eric Bailly, so that's fine. Yeah, brilliant. I'm really pleased with those that agree with me. Injury report, I was just about to skip over that, but we had 9 for Spence in the youth team. Mark Bowler was the worst with 6. He's wanted by Everton for a transfer. Vallejo had 6 as well, which is disappointing because he only came in January. Sam Byron with 5. So we've got a little bit of an injury-prone team, to be honest. So they've gone on their end of season break, and pre-season will be held in Singapore. Every time that's an option, I do it. If you guys don't know, if tuning into this series, I live in Singapore. So that's why I'm always keen to go to Singapore. And there you go. 2 years ahead of schedule, we've become an established Premier League team, which is absolutely wonderful. So yeah, it's been a good season. We've kept ourselves in the Premier League, so we got up in the first season. Second season, we've established ourselves as a Premier League team in 15th. And next season, the final season of this save, let's go and see where we can press to. And I'm so gutted, because if we'd won the FA Cup, it would have been a place in the Europa League, but we just missed out with that 2-1 loss to Arsenal. So we're going to have a look to see where we want to buy. People that are definitely leaving. Ayala's asked to leave. Shotton's probably going to leave, so we'll need another centre-back. Randolph might leave. We need another striker because Asombalonga's leaving. So, yeah, all in all, Taverna and Brown, I might look to move them on because they're gone on loan and I'm never going to play them. But it will be very, very interesting to see what happens next season. We've had not many changes staff-wise. I think, yeah, overall, it's been very, very good, to be honest. We haven't become an icon, which is a little bit annoying. Of course, we got them into the Premier League and kept them here, or not even a favoured personnel, which is, really annoying. Anti-Coric did. We signed the bugger, but no, we're not a favoured personnel. But he has done very well. He's on the verge of a Croatia recall, I think, unless he's made the squad. Let's have a little look. Has he made the squad? No, he hasn't yet, but he was on the verge, apparently, according to the press. He was on the verge of getting in there. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Dynamics-wise, we'll have a quick little flick through here. So, yeah, a lot of people support me, which is great. A lot of people still have no opinion, which is I'm failing to impress a number of players with your performance as manager. I don't quite agree with that. But social groups, everybody's in one of the main 2 ones, which is great. And happiness, most people are happy, although there's a few unhappy that will probably be moved on. Asombalonga, Shotton and Ayala will all be moving on, and they're the unhappy ones. So that's totally fine. I think that's going to be the end of it. Key player Abel Ruiz, captain Dale Fry, he'll remain captain next year because we're not going to sell him. And Daniel Ayala will need a new vice captain because he will be going. But yeah, all in all, pretty good. The youth teams the youth candidates we had come through have now been released, obviously. But we have signed some new ones. Derek Preston is at the top, and he was the best one that came through. We're not going to see it because we've only got 1 season left. We're going to go and spend all of our money in the transfer window special, which at the end of last season was the longest episode of the lot. And I'm sure this one will be the same. But thank you so much for watching, guys. If you're enjoying it, please do leave a like. Go and check out one of the other series that I've got going on in Football Manager. And for now, I'm out. Cheers.